Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Sonia G, and on my channel I like to share my manifesting stories and any tools and techniques that I use to help myself in my day-to-day life. Have you ever made a choice and realized that it was a bad decision and said to yourself, I knew I should have picked the other one, but I didn't listen to myself? That was your inner voice that you didn't listen to. Now you could call it your higher self, your inner being, your intuition. You could call it whatever you want, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to be calling it the inner voice. And the inner voice is like a built-in compass to guide you in making better decisions and life choices. Lots of times, for the individuals that can't hear their inner voice, it's more likely that you have a hard time making decisions. It's also possible you don't know what you want. And also, a lot of times, people that can't hear their inner voice don't even know what they feel. So it's very crucial to learn to hear your inner voice. When you can't hear your inner voice, it's possible that you're not living in awareness, and not listening to our inner voice can lead to your inner voice trying to communicate with you through other means, people, places, things, and sometimes things that we won't like a wake-up call through an injury or a sickness or a disease. The inner voice will magnify itself somehow to get your attention, and this can be very uncomfortable. And this is a very crucial time for a person. This is those moments that can make you or break you. And unfortunately, some people turn to despair and depression and look for outside comforts like alcohol, drugs, bad company. And unfortunately, when a person's in this state of mind, they tend to attract more of the negative energy that they're feeling and experiencing. The more aware that we are of what is going on in our mind, the stronger that our inner voice will become. It is important to listen deeply to ourselves. Our inner voice comes through different interpretations, feelings, thoughts, physically and emotionally, and sometimes audibly. It's been known that some people can actually hear an audible voice in their head. And I'm proud to say that I have heard my inner voice audibly. At least twice that I can recall in my life, I have heard this voice. The first time I was about 5 to 6 years old. I'll never forget it. I was walking from one end to the house to the other when I heard a masculine voice in my head. It stopped me in my tracks. It was unbelievable. And it said to me, everything is gonna be all right. And my inner voice was obviously comforting me, because as a child, going through a rough childhood, to say the least, I had no idea how to comfort myself or how to think something like that to myself. And surely no one in my environment was ever trying to comfort me or having kind words of any kind. And the best way that I can describe my inner voice was like if I had a speaker built in my head. It did not sound anything like when you're wearing earphones, because earphones, you can tell that the sound is coming from the outside. But this inner voice was literally coming from the inside out. So like I said, it stopped me in my tracks, and I heard it again not too long ago, and I was just waking up. It was maybe 6 a.m. and I was still asleep, but like, you know, when you're just waking up, but you're still asleep kind of. And it was the same voice, and it was loud and clear. I really get a big sense that I should not share what my inner voice said with anyone. I didn't even share it with anyone in my home. I did tell them. I did share with my family that I heard my inner voice, but I did not share what my inner voice said, because I have a huge feeling that I'm not supposed to share it. Not this. And so I'm keeping it to myself. Our inner voice is always talking to us. We need to listen to it with real attentiveness. Most of us can get caught up in everyday nonsense, just like our caregivers did. It diminishes your inner voice to the point where you can't hear it anymore. Our inner voice is true guidance. Not listening to our inner voice can lead to lots of bad decision making. Not only do you make bad decisions in life, but it can also block your creativity. For example, your inner voice might be screaming loud and clear, don't go out with that person. And you're only focused on, I just want to go out. I don't care. And then you go out with that person and it turns out to be a horrible time. Or your inner voice is giving you hints and ideas of you becoming some kind of creative artist, singer, songwriter, who knows? Something creative. But you ignore that voice because you're listening to the voices in your head telling you that you should get a so-called safe, secure job. By the way, there's no such thing as job security unless you're creating it yourself. What I recommend is that you start practicing listening to your inner voice by shutting out the external world as much as possible. Social media, gossiping with friends and relatives, most television, especially the news. Most importantly, I'm going to recommend that you don't share what you're practicing with most people, because most people don't understand. And if you are watching self-help videos like this, that means you're on a whole new journey, a whole new path. You're trying to make life changes. And when we try to share this with other people, because obviously if you're watching this, you think there's a better way to live, there's something in you brewing to live better. And when we try to share this with friends and family, it doesn't always turn out to be the conversation that you would like to have. And in some cases, it just leaves you bothered and hindered. I would just really keep this to yourself. Don't even bother explaining to people. Focus internally on yourself as best as possible, your true self, which is your inner voice. By being in awareness of your inner voice, your true self. Our bodies are not just for walking around on our beautiful planet. On the inside, there is a whole universe. It's non-physical energy. And that's what you need to tap into. That is your inner voice. Your inner voice is an energy that is non-physical. We can't see it. It's just like love. If you ever loved someone or a pet, or if you have felt the love from someone towards you, you can feel it, you can sense it, but you can't see it. You can't capture it, but it's there and you know it. That is that non-physical energy that is your inner being. In time, you're going to see that you're going to start trusting yourself. It's going to teach you to start trusting yourself more and more. And the brain will start to create new empowering connections between the inner you and the outer you. And I'm going to recommend that you start asking your inner voice questions. Wait for a response, and it's not going to be the kind of response where you think it. You have to listen to your awareness or your senses, and whatever your inner voice tells you, accept it and believe it. Have conversations with your inner voice on purpose, all day, every day. There is no wrong way to do this. As long as you stay in persistent practice, you will see that you will start to trust yourself. Talk to your inner voice in a loving manner every day, just the way you would talk in a loving manner to others around you that you care for, or the way that you would like for others to talk to you. Your inner voice is a great way to really get to know yourself, to really get to know what you like, what you want out of life, and above all, fall in love with your inner voice. That's who you really are. And you're going to see that you're going to become so confident that you will never, ever settle for less than what you deserve. And don't worry if you don't get a response from your inner voice right away. Just be patient with yourself and never give up on yourself. Learning to trust yourself takes time because of the old program in your head that was running your life. I really hope you liked my video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, and to leave your comments below. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.